Hi everybody, it's Congressman Rick Larsen, and happy almost Thanksgiving. This is this week's Recap with Rick. Before I start, I do want to offer my deepest sympathies and condolences to the families of the two folks who were killed this week during a massive windstorm, including a woman in Linwood. Please be safe as well during cleanup. We'll dig out of this, and I know some of you still are without power or have been without power, and so thinking of you, and want to be sure that our office can be as responsive as possible if you need any help. I want to thank the work crews and the first responders as well, who are working around the clock to restore power. This is something that my dad, who worked for the Snohomish County PUD as a lineman and a foreman, had to do many times. So I know what these women and men are going through. They're working very hard to get power turned back on. It's hard to be patient in a situation like this, but keep in mind they're out there working as well. I want to thank these work crews and first responders. Well, it's another busy week here on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. On Tuesday, I participated in a hearing on the response that the Federal Emergency Management Agency did in response to Hurricanes Helene and Milton. These are the West North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida hurricanes, and that hearing was with Administrator Criswell. Congress has now from the President a $100 billion disaster supplemental request, and we need to act on that immediately. Without this funding, federal agencies, including FEMA and the Small Business Administration, cannot fulfill their missions and to help survivors. This year also, before we get out, Congress needs to pass this bipartisan bill to create a universal application for federal disaster assistance. This will make accessing FEMA help faster for you. And this is a complaint that we're hearing down in North Carolina, Florida, Georgia. Frankly, it's a complaint I've heard in my district as well in response to FEMA disasters. And so we're working on that. And as I've said, when it comes to these disasters, we have to, as a community, hold everyone and anyone accountable who is seeking to politicize disaster aid. And that includes this crew leader from FEMA who's been fired, to the president-elect or president, who are at times in the past, the incoming president has tried to politicize disaster aid. That's wrong, and we need to hold everyone accountable who's trying to do that, because it just gets in the way of providing aid to people who need it. Yesterday, I introduced a bill with Representative Andy Kim of New Jersey to authorize the United States to participate in and contribute to something called the NATO Innovation Fund, or NIF. This is going to play a critical role with our NATO allies in fostering innovation and collaboration across this important NATO alliance, an alliance I support. U.S. startup companies will have access to the NIF's venture capital funds and in such a way that they'll be able to contribute to the security of the people who live in the alliance. Finally, next week is Thanksgiving. TSA, the Transportation Security Administration, expects this Thanksgiving to be the busiest air travel weekend in American history. So whether you're going by air, by road, by rail, by ferry, by bus, by foot, by bike, however you're getting around, please be safe out there as you travel, and be patient. Again, it will be the busiest weekend in American history. So I wish you and your loved ones a very happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you in about 10 to 12 days on the next recap. Thanks so much.